one of the, you have that great Catholic both and, right? Rather than this either or. It's either this or that you see often in non-Catholic circles. The Catholic sense understands that there's these multiple senses. You take like Origen in the 4th century talking about the allegorical sense of Scripture. And there were 4 different kind of iterations that you can draw from it, which kind of speaks to like when you read a scripture multiple times through your life, you see different things emerge, right? Yeah. And so the Catechism says this: according to ancient tradition, one can distinguish between 2 senses of Scripture, the literal and the spiritual, the latter being subdivided into the allegorical, moral, and analogical senses. The profound concordance of the 4 sentences guarantees all its richness to the living reading of the Scripture and the Church. And so those 4 senses, I think, sometimes are so often missed, and they're just usurped by this desire for it to be this literal thing, this literal sense, and it goes so much deeper there. And I think that's something that can be brought out in conversation too. So I'm kind of curious. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Well, I was just going to say, like, to piggyback on what you're saying, the one example that comes to mind is the creation account.
Yeah.
And to be honest, full disclosure, I'm not sure what I think of the creation account as far as it being 6 literal days, or if it was like poetically describing a reality that took place over a longer duration. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm not too sure. I haven't formulated an opinion one way or another, but I definitely see both cases for that. And so you get sort of more fundamentalist Christians that say, no, it was 6 literal days. That's the only it's the only explanation. There was no Big Bang. And then, you have the science of like, well, things have existed for millions of years. So how do we explain that reality? Maybe this is more poetic, or maybe there's a spiritual sense to why God illustrated the creation story and account in this way. And it's sort of that both and I think you're describing. And now there's probably going to be lots of haters on both sides of this opinion. But that's an example though, I think, right?
Yeah, no, I think too. I mean, full disclosure, man, I don't care about disclosures because we're all on a journey and we're trying to figure this thing out, right? So,
hey everyone, thank you so much for checking out this clip from the Practical Theism podcast. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to check out the full episode, you can do so by finding it on our YouTube channel. Definitely consider subscribing and ringing that little bell so you can continue to get updates, notifications when we release new episodes and new clips just like this one. I hope to see you soon.